tomorrow will be better. Here's the question on the board with a triangle given as so, and we have at the center the area of the triangle, and then we have two given sides of the triangle. The question, of course, no need to say find x. Follow me, dear friends. Solution. Now, given the information on the board, we can only apply the notion of surface area of triangles here, which is given by area of a triangle is given by the half of the base times the height. This is just some sort of a gentle reminder. Okay, so let's apply this formula to this question here. We're going to have here that half times the base, which is x minus 3, and then the height, which is going to be here x plus 3. And they say this should give us 27 meters squared. Okay, at this point, we just have to simplify our expression by first of all expanding the left side of the equation. And before I do this, I'm going to multiply all through by 2. So, multiply all through by 2. If I do this, what's the objective of multiplying all through by 2? It's just to eliminate this fraction here, okay? So I'm going to have here that this goes like this, and then the right side is going to boil down to 54. So, okay. So now, x times x, what we're doing now is we're doing an expansion of this brackets here. X times x gives us an x squared. X times 3 plus positive 3x. Now be careful, there's a negative sign here. Negative 3 times x is negative 3x, and negative 3 times positive 3 gives us a negative 9. Be careful here. Negative 9, okay? So this should give us 54. At this point, I just have to simplify my equation. To the right, I notice that these terms here are going to cancel each other because 3x minus 3x is just a 0, okay, 0. So we're going to have here x squared minus 9 is equal to 54, all right? At this point, the next thing to do is to send, because now I have to make x the subject. So I start by sending, let me copy this again here, x squared minus 9 is equal to 54. I'm going to send negative 9 to the right side of the equation to have x squared is equal to 54 plus a 9. Be careful, when negative 9 moves, it becomes positive, okay? So, and the right side will simply boil down to 63, all right? 63. At this point, so many candidates will say, all right, I'll just divide both sides by 2, which is wrong. Because in this case, 2 here is not a coefficient. It's neither just a factor, okay? 2 here is an index, all right? So what we have to do is to raise both sides of the equation by the reciprocal of this index. In this case, this is squared. So we are going to take the square root of both sides. The square root, which otherwise is known as this, is the reciprocal of this, all right? So the square root of both sides, this cancels this, and then we're going to have that x is going to be equal to, now let me write out this first. Had this been 64, we're going to have exactly 8. But since it's 63, we're going to have something like maybe 7.9. Now, I want to remind you that the solution to all quadratic equations or all equations of degree 2 must also have 2 solutions. Equations of degree 3 must also have 3 solutions. Equations of degree n must have n solutions. So since the degree here of our equation is 2, there must be 2 solutions. But in this case, the 2 solutions are equal in magnitude. So we're going to have 2 solutions. X1 will be positive 7.9, X2 will be negative 7.9. Both answers can satisfy these conditions here, because tomorrow will certainly be better.